Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Service Review for July 28th. So today, or this service, was more difficult to find things to critique or things that we need to do better, which is a positive thing. It means that we're doing better as a team, and so thank you to everyone who served yesterday. It was a great service. Pastor Ryan had an amazing message, and everyone did their jobs to the best of their ability, and I think ultimately we ended up with some pretty solid services. So I've got some things for us, some small, some more important, so let's just kind of get into it, and yeah. So in this second service, there's a couple of things I want to point out here. One is when we get to this point in the service, right here, we have this super shaky camera shot. You see it's moving around a lot. And so I just want camera operators for you to kind of be extra vigilant and aware that any movement that if you bump your tripod or anything like that, it's going to cause potential issues, especially if you're live. And so just be aware of that. Try to do your best to not be accidentally bumping things or jerking things or whatever. Sometimes it does happen, but I just wanted to point that out. We go a little tiny bit later in the service. Same song, actually. And let me get this playing. So at this point, the piano volume is way too loud compared to the rest of the mix. You can't hear many of the other instruments very well, especially some of the low end like the bass. So broadcast audio engineers, do your best to make sure that the important instruments, the low end, are heard. That some of the higher end instruments, especially because people are listening on their phones and things, are not overpowering them. Do your best, utilize the other speakers that we have, the smaller ones, to make sure that they're going to sound good on those types of devices as well, because we do end up with situations like this where the volume for some of those things are just not in proportion. They're mixed not super well, so just keep your eye on that. This is another thing that is really popular for a lot of our video directors to do. So if we go here and we're watching, and we'll see this transition shot. And now I know we do a lot of these. There's different ways that people do them. Some people like to use the cross. Some people do them between just shots on stage. Here's what I want us to be aware of when we're doing this. I'm fine for you to do them. However, this shot, for example, in particular, is really busy because we have the drums. The focus of the drums is middle of the screen, and we have Alejo. The focus on him is the middle of the screen. So if we're going to be doing transition shots, do your best to have it so you have one item or one subject on the left half and one on the right half, or at least in different parts of the frame, so that composition wise we're not getting this messy look where I can't tell what's what. Again, these transition shots are fine, but try to be more intentional with keeping the subjects that you're transitioning between in different parts of the frame so they don't overlap and get too busy and be difficult to look at. Some smaller things. We do have a couple of out of focus moments. Here, for example, is one. Tara's about to go into this next part of the song, and she's pretty out of focus. In fact, we actually have, it looks like Bobby behind her is more in focus than her. The drums are more in focus than her. And so I know this can be difficult to tell sometimes, especially in the moment. But just try to stay on top of it. Try to stay on top of making sure we're focused and all that, because it does make a big difference in the end result. One of the other things for this service, and we did a great job of getting on top of it. But we're at the end of worship here, and Pastor Joey's about to come up, and I'll just play the clip.
Oh, come on, if you're thankful for the faithfulness of Jesus.
So we had about 3 or 4 seconds there where Pastor Joey was speaking and was not in frame. Not the biggest deal in the world. You guys did fix it very, very quickly. But when we know he's coming up there, we always have an MC come up at the end of service or the end of worship. So just make sure that you're ready for that. Producer should be calling out when MC is on stage. That way the video director can tell a camera to make sure to follow him. Whoever's not live at the moment, if you know the MC is on stage about ready to go and you know you're not live, camera operator, take that initiative and go ahead and find the MC, follow them, so that way the video director has a shot ready to use. Later on in this, when Pastor Joey is speaking, we have a moment here. Let me go here. Let's play this. So at this point, Pastor Joey is the most important thing on stage, and the most important person, most important input, however you want to put it. And the piano, the backing music is significantly too loud for him to be speaking. In this moment, we want that the bands, they're going to be kind of grooving behind them. We want them to be quieter in the background so that way we can still hear Pastor Joey. And if he does something that, says something that gets people riled up and people start cheering and clapping, cool, let's raise that volume a little bit just for those couple seconds and then bring it back down, because this is just it's too loud. It's hard to understand him. So see what I mean? So, and then when we began the message in this service, we did have some confusion with the microphones, which is more of a planning issue. But when we did begin message in this service, Pastor Ryan's microphone, I'll let you listen to it. So his microphone is pretty heavily distorted there, so that's a broadcast issue. It was not happening in front of house. So again, broadcast engineers, make sure you're paying attention to microphones. If things are distorting, check your gains, check your compressors, make sure that you get it reeled in as quickly as possible. Ultimately, any service that we have, the message is the most important part of the service. The speaker, whoever's preaching, is the most important. That microphone is the most important input that we have, and so we need to make sure that it is handled properly. So when you notice that, we did get it fixed. It took a little bit longer than I liked, but we did get it fixed. So just keep an eye on those types of things, because that's going to be what really makes a difference in cementing us as having really good live streams. So a couple of tiny things in this service, the third service. We'll go back into the first song here, and I'll just play this part. So based on those couple of seconds, it's kind of even hard to tell who's supposed to be leading the song. It's Alejo, and the female background vocalists, Tara and Lanisa and Stacy, are just as loud, if not louder, than Alejo in that moment. So keep an eye on who is leading the song to make sure that vocally and mix-wise that that lead vocal is the main one that we're hearing. And then we did have a small CG issue. You can see it in the preview there. Let me get to the timestamp. Right here. So Pastor Joey's preaching, or he's doing announcements or vision, and I believe he brings us back into the song right after this. But we went ahead and clicked the lyrics, but you can see that they're showing right on the middle of the screen. And the reason that is because the proper look for ProPresenter was not set. So I'm going to just show you real quick as a CG operator how you can confirm if the look is set properly before you click on lyrics. It's just a quick visual thing just to look at it. Because if it's not set properly and you click on lyrics, this is potentially what could happen. And it was fixed relatively quickly.
Come on, has he been faithful? He's faithful.
So it was fixed relatively quickly. Those lyrics weren't even being sung at the time, so I'm sure it was just a misclick. But I do want to just show you real quick how to check that the audience look is correct before we're clicking on slides. So if we go into ProPresenter here, I just have a random song that I've imported. And I've got the lyrics up. Over in the top right corner, I like to call this the Little Mustache Man. He is the symbol in ProPresenter for the look, and the look is effectively the formatting of how everything is going to display on the screen. And so we have a bunch of looks set up. We have one specifically for worship, and so when you're looking up here, if this says anything, where it says default here, if this says anything other than worship, and you click on a lyric slide, it's going to display improperly. So what you can do then is either make sure you click on the background slide at the beginning of the song, because that usually sets the look, or it's supposed to, or if you click on the Little Mustache Man, you can actually get a drop down where you can select all of the looks. So I'm on my laptop here, but if I had a look set up for worship, and the default was selected, if I clicked this, I could just go ahead and boom, change it to worship automatically. That way, before I click on the slide, I know that the display and the look is going to be set properly. So again, guys, super good service this week. I'm happy with how it went from a production standpoint. So if you guys do have any questions or concerns or anything that you want to share about this past service, or things that you just want more practice with, or things that we can give you to help you do your job better, please make sure you share that with us. PJ and myself and Pastor Ryan, we're serving in the positions that we're serving in, and what I mean by that is I'm not running camera most of the time, I'm not running video director most of the time, and so I don't know if there's issues, or if there's workflow issues, or you need things. We don't always know those things, so do your best to kind of share that information with us as you can. It really does help us as a team make sure that everybody is equipped and prepared to do the job that we have them set to do. So thank you, everybody, and I will see you next week in the service review. Thanks.